Hi, I made a video. What is this? So, in 2022, I tried to do an alphabet challenge with the books that I read. And it's not very pretty, but here. Basically, I wanted to read a book for every letter of the alphabet. And the deal was that, like, it had to be the first letter of the title. So, like, if it was the something, 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 that would go into T. Like, I couldn't just ignore any thes on the front of titles. And I think I did pretty well. I didn't finish it, which is the whole point of this video, because I was trying to see what I could complete passively. So passively, I managed to do, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I managed to do all but 5 letters. So I'll just run through what I managed to do, like what I actually managed to achieve. Let me just... So for A, I got A Deal with the Elf King. For B, I got Blood and Circuses. For C, I got Circe. For D, I got Diary of a Witchcraft Shop. For E, I got Extasia. F, I got Fable. G, I got Graceling. H, I got Howl's Moving Castle. I got I'm Glad My Mum Died. J, I'm missing. So J is one of the ones I need to finish. K, I got Kingdom of the Wicked. L, Legends and Lattes. M, Murder on the Ballarat Train. N, I got Namesake. O, I'm missing. P, Pearls and Potions. Q, I'm missing, not surprised. R, I got Running Wild. S, I got Stockings and Spells. T, I got This Poison Heart. U, I got Unfuck Your Brain. V, I got Vespertine. W, I got Wilding Hall. I'm missing X and Y. And then for Z, I got Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. So what I want to do in this video is I want to finish this off. So I need to find books that I think I will read, because I don't just want to pick up any old book that starts with J, O, Q, X or Y. And I need to procure them and read them. So let's see if I can find some books. Have I put my phone down? I've put my phone down! Why have I done that? I'm going to see if I can find some books that start with those letters that I think I actually might want to read. I would have thought finding like a Q one would be quite easy for me because I like fantasy, and surely queen is a really like common word in fantasy. I don't know. Right, let me grab my phone. I think the first thing I should do is go through my TBR list and just double check that there's nothing on there that could polish any of these off. Oh, Jekyll. Oh, and Juniper and Thorn. I really want to read Juniper and Thorn. Yeah, it's going to be Juniper and Thorn. I've wanted to read that for like the last 3 months. That's one I can do. Okay, that was easy. Oh. The only one that's on here is the Once and Future Witches, but that breaks my the rule. So O is going to have to wait. I got a Q. No, no Qs. Shocker. X and Y. Plenty of W's. No, no X's and Y's. Okay, so I'm going to order Juniper and Thorn before I forget. What is the best way to find books beginning with O that I might like? Because this is the thing. This is going to take a while. In that case, I'm going to come back when I have found books for O, Q, X and Y. This is so much harder than I thought it would be. Juniper and Thorn was such an easy one. For O, I had to Google, I literally had to Google fantasy books that start with, title starts with O. And what I did find was a book called Odd Magic, Odd with 1 D, by Patricia A. McKillop. And I'm not entirely convinced I'm going to enjoy it, but it does have tropes that I like, so I'm going to give it a go. Giantess starts a magical school, and then there's the protagonist is this guy who's really gifted with gardening and gets invited to come and be the gardening teacher at the school. So it sounds a bit off the wall, but I'm sure. For Q, surprisingly hard to find a book that starts with Q, because they're all, I really shot myself in the foot with the no the rule, because it's all the queen of this or the queen of that, and it's really annoying. But I found one. It's called Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Corcoran, and it's like court intrigue, which I fucking love. It's lesbians, which I also love. I think it might be a bit cheesy. It is a romance, which can be a bit hit or miss for me. I also found one called Queens of Themyscira. It's about the Amazons, and like it's another Greek retelling, but those are really hit and miss for me, so I figured I'd probably be better off with the courting intrigue ones, the Coins and Whispers. So I'm not getting that one. Finding a book that starts with the letter X is fucking difficult. I have resorted to the book X by Sue Grafton, because Sue Grafton has written an entire alphabet series of true crime or crime books. I don't know if they're true or not. So she's essentially done the alphabet challenge, but she's written them. I'm assuming you don't have to read the whole series to understand this one, but I cannot find another fucking book whose title starts with the letter X that I might actually want to read. So we're trying it. That's just where we're at. I think Y was actually a lot easier to find than I thought. Goodreads. I don't like Goodreads, but Goodreads understands that some people want to do stupid alphabet challenges and has lists of books with titles that start with various letters of the alphabet. So I looked at that list, and one of them is called Yiddish for Pirates. And honestly, I kind of want to... Oh, I thought that was going to be the one that I went with, because I'll read you the first. Set in the years around 1492, Yiddish for Pirates recounts the compelling story of Moish, a bar mitzvah boy who leaves home to join a ship's crew, where he meets Aaron, the polyglot parrot who becomes his near constant companion. And I was going to pick it up based on that alone, and then I scrolled down and saw that there's a book called Yarrow, which looks like it has a fawn. Oh no, it's the second in the series. Do I have to have read the first one? No, I don't want to read that one. That looks weird. Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be Yiddish for Pirates. For J, I'm getting Juniper and Thorn. O, I'm getting Odd Magic by Patricia A. McKillop. For Q, I'm getting Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Corcoran. For X, I'm getting X by Sue Grafton. And then for Y, I'm getting Yiddish for Pirates. I'm never doing an alphabet challenge again. This is so difficult. I bought the books, and now I've read all the books. So I'm going to tell you about them. I am not normally a person who does very well just picking books randomly. So I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed these books. Where have I put my phone? Because I can't remember off the top of my head what I rated them. First one I started off with was X by Sue Grafton. I don't read a lot of crime or thriller. I think the last set of crime books were more like murder mystery novels. I read the Kerry Greenwood, Miss Fisher books, which I did really enjoy. And I think, thinking about how much I love shows like Criminal Minds and NCIS and just dramas that have ridiculous plot points, boom, 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 something stupid. When it comes to TV shows like that, I don't really care if the story makes sense. I just want the serotonin boosts of each stupid little plot point. So reading X by Sue Grafton was very similar. It's crime, it's not murder. It's based around Kinsey Millhone, I think I'm saying that right, who's a private detective, and she's in this Alphabet series. So this is like the very end of the series, there's loads of books before this. And she is approached by someone who wants to get in touch with their long lost son. She has neighbours moved in next door that are a little bit weird, and she gets an odd phone call from a friend, and all of these tie up into like a really thick, juicy plot. And it was very much just like boom, 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 stuff is happening, you're finding stuff out. It was very entertaining. I gave it 4 stars. It was quite long, but because it didn't ever stop, it was quite fast paced, it was enjoyable, and I didn't mind that it was that long. So I would consider that a success. The next one I read was J, Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid. I had heard lots of good things about this. This book made me very angry, but I think that was the point. No, I know that was the point. It was the point. It's a dark fairy tale, and it's one of those books where the main character is just shat on over and over and over and treated like shit. And it takes them the whole book to find their confidence, find their like whatever they need to stand up to people. But my issue was when she did finally get the spoons and the balls to stand up to the bad guy, she didn't go as far as I wanted her to, which is why this was only a 4-star and not a 5, because I wanted vengeance and I didn't get it. The writing was very good, the world was very good, the story was really cool. It's a very well crafted book. There are so many trigger warnings in it, so yeah, be aware of that, because that took me by surprise. No, it didn't take me by surprise. I was aware there were trigger warnings in it, but reading them was more shocking than I had anticipated because I thought I was prepared for it. I wasn't. So yes, 4 stars, highly recommend it. Don't go in lightly, and don't read it if you're in a bad mood either. That's not a good plan. The one I was quite surprised by was Yiddish for Pirates. Yiddish for Pirates by Gary Barwin. So I would never have picked this book up if it wasn't for this challenge. I cannot believe it's so hard to find a book that has a title that starts with a Y, but here we are. From a language point of view, I like languages, I like learning languages. So the amount of Yiddish in here was very cool, because Yiddish has never been a language that I've had much to do with or knew much about. I could not pronounce half the words in here, but I was also pleasantly surprised by the amount of words I did know and just didn't realise were Yiddish, so I learned a lot reading this book. I think I was expecting this to have more of a fantasy element than it did, because it is historical fiction told from the perspective of a parrot, but that is the only fantasy element there, and I wanted more just because I like fantasy in my books. Definitely good pirate content. Unfortunately, it was just set in a time period that I just don't care very much about. It was all about Christopher Columbus and him discovering America and all of that. I'm not very knowledgeable on the topic. I think there was good discourse on the persecution of minorities, certainly a lot on the persecution of the Jews and how they've been treated like shit for as long as they've existed. And you learn a lot about Jewish culture and why they celebrate the things they celebrate and things like that, and that was really interesting. I think I just wanted more fantasy, but that's not the sort of book it was. Found out afterwards that the author is a poet. That makes a lot of sense when you read the book. It is very poetic, the writing is incredible. It was just the content of the book that didn't please me as much as I wanted it to. So 3 stars. And then for O, I read Odd Magic. I really, really enjoyed this book. It wasn't a 5-star, it was a strong 4-star. It had real Ghibli vibes. This one was published, I want to say mid-noughties, so it's dated. But you couldn't really tell, I don't think. It reminded me a lot of the fantasy books that my mum gave me to read when I was younger, which were books that she had read when she was younger. So it's definitely got that sort of vibe, but it's based in a magic school that was created by this wizard or witch, I can't remember how sorceress, magic person called Odd, O-D, and she's almost mythical in the way that she came in and saved the land and decided in payment she wanted to start this magic school. And it's about her and how she hires this gardener, and the gardener is special. And if I say any more than that, I think I'm gonna spoil it. But there's also lots of threads, there's strong female characters, which I wasn't necessarily expecting from a book this old, but I was very pleased that they were there. I really enjoyed it. In the beginning, it had sort of... It definitely has Ghibli vibes all the way through. It kind of has a little bit of like Earthsea vibes, and I also got a little bit of Pratchett vibes. Not necessarily from the writing's not that funny or satirical. See, the more I talk about it, I can't pin down why I thought it was Pratchett-y. It was easy to read, I'll give it that. It was easy to read. It was very enjoyable. I did enjoy the characters. There was a bit of insta-love, but it was so minor. I just kind of, I could look over it, I could look past it. Yeah, I would recommend this book to fantasy lovers. It's not very long either, it's only 300 pages, and it's just very good. I would recommend it for vibes alone. So yeah, I think that's me done. I thought there were 5 books. And now I'm doubting myself. Hi, yes, I did forget a book, because I DNF'd it. I also read Queen of Coin and Whispers by Sarah Corcoran, and I hated it, so I DNF'd it. It's a YA book, and it's very, very YA, and I think it's trying to be an epic fantasy, and it's just squeezing itself into the YA genre so much that I hated it. The characters didn't make a lot of sense to me. Their motivations were very thin, and the introduction and the development of a secondary character and the relationship with the main character was just felt very forced and very like, I've decided this is going to happen, so it's going to happen. And that didn't work for me. So I gave up at I think 200 pages and then just promptly forgot about it. So there you go, there's another book that I read. That was it. I have now finished the alphabet challenge, and gold star for me. I'm not doing the alphabet challenge again this year. I wondered if maybe I wanted to do it with authors instead of titles, but I've decided I'm just reading what I want. At the moment I'm reading for a readathon, mixtape-a-thon, but I like readathons because I can just incorporate the books that I want to read. I think my sole reading challenge this year is just to get through my physical TBR, which is very doable. It's only about 30 books, and I've read 3 of them already on top of the books that I bought for this, so I think we're doing very well. Yes. I like the challenge. I've never really done reading challenges before, and I think I enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know if I'd be able... I don't know if I'd want to do challenges that required me to pick up random books I'd never heard of. Just because that doesn't spark joy most of the time. I have another couple in mind, mostly finishing off the backlog for authors that I know I like. I want to do a T. Kingfisher one and a Holly Black one, so they may be coming soon. I have some of the books for that. But yeah, that was a video. Congrats if you made it to the end.